Michael Jackson, the king of pop, has left his mark on music for all time. He has won a lot of awards, made albums that changed the music industry, and given performances that people will never forget. There is, however, one story about Michael that is not as well known: what happened at the 1988 Grammy Awards. This year was full of both hope and disappointment, and it gives a unique look at how complicated fame and recognition can be. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Can you imagine the king of pop, Michael Jackson, facing a moment of disappointment? That's right, we're taking a close look at the 1988 Grammy Awards, where expectations, suspense, and surprises came together in a night to remember. So, before the Grammy Awards in 1988, there was a lot of talk about Michael Jackson. Hits like The Way You Make Me Feel, Bad, and Dirty Diana helped his album Bad go platinum several times over. This was Michael at his best, with a mix of creativity, innovation, and popularity that seemed impossible to stop. Critics thought the album was a good follow-up to Michael Jackson's legendary Thriller and praised its musical depth and creativity. Not only were hopes high for a successful night at the Grammys, but they were almost expected. But nothing is certain in the flashy world of music. As the stars started to arrive at the 30th Grammy Awards, word started to spread that it would be a very competitive night. The lineup was full of famous people, and the nominees were the best in their fields. There was U2's The Joshua Tree, Prince's Sign of the Times, and Whitney Houston's beautiful self-titled album. Michael wasn't the only one who wanted to be famous. The ceremony itself was a show, with performances and collaborations that showed how many different kinds of music there are and how rich they are. Michael Jackson delivered one of his most remarkable live performances at the 1988 Grammy Awards, leaving the audience utterly speechless with his presence and mesmerizing stage presence. He was a central figure and a shining star among stars. But as the awards were given out, people started to realize that Bad wasn't taking the night by storm as many had thought it would. After receiving a lot of applause and a standing ovation from his contemporaries Herb Alpert and his friend from Motown, Diana Ross, came on stage to announce the winner of the Album of the Year award. Since Diana Ross was chosen to present it, it seemed likely that Michael had a good chance of winning. He was up against popular artists like U2, Whitney Houston, and his rival Prince. Michael Jackson waited anxiously in the wings for the result. As Diana Ross eagerly opened the envelope, a look of disappointment immediately covered her face as she announced,
"And the album of the year is The Joshua Tree, U2."
Michael Jackson sat unhappily in the audience as each of the other nominations were read out. After each category was done, Bad was left out. Michael's face, which was a mix of grace and hidden sadness, was often caught on camera. When the camera moved to Michael, it caught a real human moment, a look of shock and disappointment. He was devastated and went home empty-handed, putting on fake smiles so that others wouldn't feel sorry for him. But the people who knew him could see that he was sad and knew that this was not his night. After the awards were given out, there were a lot of discussions and debates. Did Bad get left out? Were the expectations too much? Was there just too much competition? Many people claimed that Michael was unfairly treated that year. His album Bad had achieved 7 #1 hits and was widely considered the best album of the year. They believed he was treated unjustly, suggesting that his immense success intimidated some individuals. Critics felt that the Grammy Awards displayed bias and played unfairly with the nominations, possibly stemming from jealousy over Michael Jackson's unprecedented success following Thriller. Some even speculated that racism played a role at various levels within the industry. Simultaneously, opinions were divided, with some asserting that The Joshua Tree was a masterpiece in its own right. Conspiracies and controversies swirled around the circumstances, leading to a mix of perceptions about the Grammy Awards that year. Different people will give you different answers. Some critics say that Bad was a victim of its own success because it was overshadowed by Michael Jackson's Thriller. Others say that the surprising result is because the music that year was so good. Even though Michael was disappointed by what happened at the Grammys, he didn't let it define him or his career. The Bad album was part of a bigger global phenomenon, and its success wasn't limited to awards. After the Grammys, Michael continued his first solo world tour, which was appropriately called the Bad World Tour. The Bad World Tour was a huge success. It broke many records and brought in millions of fans from all over the world. Michael's performances were electrifying and showed that he was the best singer and dancer in the world. Even though he didn't win at the Grammys, it was clear that he didn't lose his spirit or his ability to entertain people. Instead, it seemed to fuel his passion, as he kept giving performances that people will never forget. Michael also kept up his charitable work while on tour. He talked to his fans and gave a lot of money to many different causes. He talked to world leaders, went to hospitals, and used his platform to bring attention to things that were important to him. It seemed like his disappointment at the Grammys made him even more determined to change the world for the better. Also, the Bad album kept getting praise and selling well, showing that awards weren't the only way to show appreciation for an artist's work. Many of the singles from the album went to the top of the charts, like Another Part of Me, I Just Can't Stop Loving You Bad, The Way You Make Me Feel, Dirty Diana. Each one was different, from the rebellious Bad to the thoughtful Man in the Mirror. Bad had a bigger impact than just winning awards. It spoke to people from all walks of life and is still seen as one of Michael's best works. Michael's career kept going strong in the years after the 1988 Grammy Awards. He made more groundbreaking albums like Dangerous and History, which added to his already impressive legacy. His creative genius, his ability to push limits, and his dedication to doing the best job possible never changed. But the story of Michael's disappointment at the 1988 Grammy Awards is a lesson that will always be important. It's a story about what people expect and what really happens, and about how even the brightest stars don't always shine the brightest. It teaches them to be humble and strong, and it makes them realize that awards and praise are not the only way to show how great someone is. Bad is remembered for more than just that night. It was still praised for its artistic quality, and musicians from many different generations were influenced by it. Michael's career didn't slow down either. It kept going up, making him one of the most important artists in history. In retrospect, the 1988 Grammy Awards stand out as a unique moment in Michael's career. It was a night that showed us that even the king of pop was not immune to the whims and surprises of the music industry. It was a night that brought a legend down to earth and reminded us that behind all the glitz and glamour is a person with hopes, dreams, and yes, even disappointments. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed, now's the perfect time to join our community. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more videos. See you next time. Bye.